use my Dilutions paints today, and believe it or not, I'm you know, you guys have seen some of the stuff I've posted lately. Everything seems to be green. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is, but I keep being drawn toward the green colors, and so I'm going to use those greens again today, and a little bit of yellow to put in there for a little bit of pop. So I'm just going to put out some paint, and then I'll get ready to kind of scrape it out. Okay, so I'm just using an old gift card, and as you see, I put a couple of rows of paint. I want the paint to continue as I drag the card down the page, so by adding a little extra towards the center, you can keep the paint moving and not have it drag and dry out or run out of paint. So I'm just going to wiggle it along here like this, and you'll have excess on your card. You can go back and add more. Okay, and then move it over and do the same thing. You can do this in straight lines or in wiggly lines, doesn't matter. Okay, and then bringing a little of that blue over here is kind of nice, so I'm going to just pop a little tiny bit more of that here. The turquoise green. All right, just finish covering up the edges. I think I will also put some yellow over here on this side, or the lighter green. Okay, so let's get a tiny bit of yellow, I think. Okay. Here we go. All right. Now all of my excess paint will be going in another book, so it will be used. So if you don't have any Dilutions paints, you can do the same technique with your regular craft paints. I got some similar colors. They're not exactly the same, but they're pretty close. And I just wanted to show you that, you know, the same effect can be achieved with the craft paints, which I use often. So I'm going to scrape again. I'm going to see if I can move this green up a little bit here, because I had dropped it down a little bit low. Okay. All right, so here we go. I think I'll use the short end of the card here and do a couple of swipes. Okay, here we go. Let's see, I'll put a little yellow there from that card. And I'm going to put the excess in my book. Okay, and then do this side. Kind of cool. Okay, so you get the same kind of cool colors and a fun little way to easily cover a page with paint. Okay, you're wondering, how should I get started with an art journal page or canvas or something? Put a few drops of paint on and scrape it down. That's all you have to do. Okay, let's see if we can drag some of this out to the edge. Might have to put a tiny bit more paint on. Yeah, this is getting too dry, so let's just put a couple of the colors. We'll go with this one. Maybe I'll just put it on my card. Just wiping off some of that dry paint. You just put a few colors here on the card, and I might just take a couple here to finish it up. Let's see. There we go. like that. I think that looks really cool. I'll show you in a second. I just need to lay it aside 1 second so that I can use this paint up in my book real quick, and then I'll clean that up. And here's my book I'm putting the excess paint into right here. Okay, so I'm gonna just add a little bit of texture now. You can see these two pages look very, very similar in color. I've got the Dilutions paint on the left and the craft paint on the right. And I'm not really trying to do any kind of comparison, really. I just wanted to show, you know, like if you don't have the Dilutions paint, you know, it's okay. You can still make beautiful things with your craft paint. I'm going to put on a little bit of green ink, or I'm going to attempt to. I'm not sure how this is going to show up, but I'm going to use this with a little leafy stamp, and just see if I can put a couple of these in the background just for a little bit of interest. Oh yeah, that kind of shows up. That's cute. Okay, and now I'm going to use some white paint and just put a little bit more texture on. I'm going to use, let's see, I think I'll use a piece of Punchinella and a sponge. Let's see. Go. And just put a few of these, you know, dots here and there. I love mark making. It makes so much fun dimension on your pages because you get, you know, the more layers you get, the more dimension you have, and you can see stuff way back in the background and things that are up close in the foreground. I love that. So I'm just playing here. I don't have any real plan. I've pulled out a few items that I'd like to use, but I have no idea how these are going to turn out. And that's what playing is all about, just having fun and not having a plan necessarily in mind, just playing and seeing what happens. And a lot of times you can be really pleasantly surprised by the outcome of just sitting down and playing with no plan in mind. I'm going to try a little bit of this drywall tape, this mesh drywall tape. It's got sticky adhesive on the back, and I'm going to use the this ink pad through that to get a little bit of a pattern on my paper. Okay, it's sticking because it is self-adhesive, so I'm just going to put a little bit here and there. Makes a cool little pattern, little dots. But you can see how the drywall tape has gotten colored, okay? And you can continue to ink that up or paint it, and the color will stay on there. Then you can cut this up and actually add it to your pages. Okay, so now the page is all dry, and I'm going to add a pop of color with this magenta, and I'm going to use a just a little bottle cap to make some little circles. I'm going to set this over here to dry, and I'm going to use up this excess here in my book. And one more there. 2 more. Okay. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of gray paint to stencil on some of these alphabets using this Tim Holtz stencil. So, get another sponge here. And this is a little bit wetter paint. This is the craft paint, but you can still make this work. You just have to really tap out a whole lot of the paint. Don't ever put a sponge on that's just sopping wet, and then you'll be fine. Okay, so now I'm going to just take my black Pitt pen, the big brush pen, and I'm just going to doodle. so here are the two finished pages. This one is completely finished around the edges. I took that big brush, black Faber-Castell Pitt pen, and went around the edges and finished off the edge. This one I have not done that yet because I'm going to take this one and put it in my art journal. And the sizing is going to be a little bit smaller, so I'm going to have to trim it off, you know, top and bottom for sure, and maybe just a little bit on the sides. But I don't want to put the edging on until after I get it ready to go in my art journal. So that's why I haven't done that yet. But I wanted to mention on this one, you'll notice in the video that I had a lot more white lines in the stem. And I decided it was too busy in there and too white, and I really wanted the black to pop and show up against that colored background. So I just took a black marker. I think it was another Pitt pen, but a smaller one. And I just colored over every other white line that I had made. And so that way it makes it just a little bit, just makes the stem itself a little bit more visible and not so white and busy. But I really had a lot of fun making these pages, and I wanted to share, before I forget, I wanted to share and remind you guys, I think I may have mentioned this in one other video, but I'm not sure, but I do have a pack of my favorite, some of my favorite mark making tools in my Etsy store, and it's a value pack, and it will look something like this. The little piece of silicone mat could be a different color than this, but they'll all be the same size. But I've got a couple of those plastic mesh canvas pieces in there, a square one and a round one. I've got some of the drywall tape that you saw me use on these, where I made the little dots in the background. And like I said, you can paint this and also stick it to your pages for actual texture on your page if you want to. I decided not to do that because this was a pretty busy, kind of a busy page, and so I decided to leave the actual texture off for now. But I've got also a couple of pieces of punchinella and some of the drywall tape that has the holes in it. That also is self-adhesive, like this one is self-adhesive. You just pull the paper off the back of this one. And also a piece of that mesh bag that you get produce from in the grocery store. And all of those make really cool marks when you stamp through them, or you can use them on the jelly plate, and you know, all sorts of things. But I use them a lot, especially these things I like to use for stamping with. Just dip them in the paint and stamp them onto your page. I just love those. Plus, you also get a plastic card to use to make marks on your pages. So I just wanted to remind everybody that this kit is available in my Etsy store. And I'm also I'm in the process of putting together a second kit that has all different things, but it's more of some of the things that I really like to use when I'm mark making. But anyway, this one's going to go in my art journal. And this one I thought would be fun to put in a giveaway. And so you might have noticed when you were watching the video that a secret word came up at one point. And that secret word is what you're going to use to enter the giveaway. It's going to be hosted at rafflecopter.com. And I'm going to actually put the link for the giveaway in my blog. So there will be a link in this video at the bottom under the video to go to my blog, and it will take you directly to the page that has the Rafflecopter giveaway link in it, and you can go to it from there. And it's pretty simple. You just fill in the information that it requests, and there will be a point where it will ask you what was the secret word from the video. So make sure, if you didn't notice that, go back and see again, watch again, and you'll see a secret word pop up. And it clearly tells you what the secret word is, and that it is a secret word. So I think it'll be fun to put this in a giveaway, and a few other goodies. I have several things that I have been purchasing, and so I'm going to just make it a surprise package and not tell anything else that's going into the giveaway. But I hope to send out a nice little package to whoever wins this giveaway, and I will make sure that I do a video after the period is over for the giveaway, to the period of getting your entry in. It will be a week, and it will be starting today and going through next Sunday. So make sure that you head over to my blog so that you can click on the Rafflecopter link to enter. And after that week is up, I will film another video showing the random drawing. I'll probably just film it from my iPad and show you directly here from my iPad of who's going to be chosen as the winner. So good luck to everybody, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I really, like I said, had a great time just playing and doodling and using all the bright colors and just having fun, you know, with no plan in mind. Just, you know, like I said, some of the most fun things come out of stuff that you don't plan, and it makes it so much less stressful and fun to enjoy. So I want to encourage everybody to just sit down and play. And especially if you feel like you're in a slump and you're just not feeling creative at all, sit down and start scraping some paint on a page, and you will see that as you play, ideas will pop into your head, and things will be sparked, and you'll be thinking, oh, I can do this and I can do that, and you will find that your creativity can come back, but you have to apply yourself. Even if you don't feel like doing it, you still have to sit down and do the thing. And once you find yourself immersed in just playing, you will want to continue to create. And I think that's just a really good way to go about pushing through one of those slumps. So anyway, I wasn't really in a slump, but I sure had fun playing and creating something that I had no idea how it would turn out. So anyway, guys, we'll talk to you soon, and I hope you'll head over to my blog to enter the giveaway. And thank you all so much for all of your support. And I think that you know by now how much it means to me that you support my efforts to share, you know, my creativity and encourage you to create. And I really do appreciate it. So until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.